crazy stuff happened today. I was reading this, which was really fascinating. I guess everyone usually gets uptight when they find out, like, I guess the government has been stealing stuff from people, right? Doesn't matter what the topic is. If they're stealing money or passing, I guess, resources and finances to corporations that want to shut someone down, so to speak, then yeah, it usually creates like a huge uproar. So in the US, there's this thing called the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, and they handle things relating to the airspace, so things like airplanes, how to keep passengers safe and all that. And one big thing that's come up over the years, pretty much everywhere around the world, is trying to regulate things like a drone. This has received a lot of criticism as well, where a lot of people argue the regulations that they came up with don't actually deal with safety in general. It's more about promoting commercial interests, like large corporations wanting to do things like drone delivery, which is a completely different topic. So as you can imagine, there are people who try to educate others or present a different alternative which makes more sense. And organizations like these probably do go around the internet reading like comments and all that. But what if this organization actually stole work and stuff from these same people? Can you imagine that? The same people that you're in a sense suppressing, you're also stealing from them as well. So apparently I dealt with this video. It says it's a pattern precision in 57 seconds. Again, it's just from the official FAA YouTube account. So this is an official government account, I guess you could say. And how do they describe the video? It says, we know that regular structured proficiency training is perhaps the most effective means of reducing general aviation accidents. Because the traffic pattern involves nearly all piloting tasks, it is a logical choice for a proficiency training environment. Commitment to precision and consistency in pattern operations will yield operational safety benefits throughout the flight task spectrum. Basically, fly safe is their hashtag. So nothing wrong with that overall, correct? Basically just trying to promote, I guess you could say, safety measures when it comes to flying things like a plane. But the thing is, with the content that they use, they actually stole like part of the video apparently. So it's basically from a user here called XJet, and it says here, the FAA stole my video to use in one of their own. That in itself is not so bad, but they didn't even do me the courtesy of asking. They cropped out the watermark and give no acknowledgement of the source. No, I won't be following a copyright strike. I would rather leave this video up as evidence, and sadly, for everyone who flies RC planes and drones, the future of our hobby is in the hands of this ethically bankrupt lot. That is pretty damning evidence. You can see basically the clip that they had in their video, like for the FAA, basically shows like these two planes flying close to each other, and he shows his original clip. It looks pretty much the exact same thing. Now I know in the description he's saying that they cropped out the watermark. I think what they did was they actually zoomed into the video. I mean, if you guys remember about that filmmaker that stole my drone footage and basically went to the mainstream media trying to say he was the one that created it, he did kind of the same thing from what it looks like. Basically, they zoomed in. But this is worse in my opinion, like a government organization stealing it from regular people. I actually tried to watch the whole video myself in terms of the ones that they published, but unfortunately it says here, video unavailable. The video is private, so they know they did something wrong. It just makes you wonder, if they're not willing to, I guess you could say, take their time to make their own material, or at the same time, they're willing to steal and hide like the sources of where they get the information from, what odds are there that they're actually doing, I guess you could say, like a competent job when it comes to, I guess, making up things like these regulations and all that? To me, that should be pretty alarming. Doesn't matter what the topic is, like nowadays, what are some of the biggest topics? Things like what, racism and all that? I mean, imagine this. Like a government or whatever making these rules and regulations that essentially suppress or is very prejudiced and discriminating against a certain group of people, and then here at the same time they're actually stealing from them as well, like not really even caring, like who cares, we'll hide this, no one will ever know. That's really bad in my opinion. That's worse, like I said, than my situation where someone stole my drone video, because that's more of just like a regular doofus, I would say, trying to steal your work and gaining publicity for it. Whereas this is an official government body. You make like regulations and stuff that basically affect the large mass majority. How could they do this? Who knows? It makes you wonder how this will work too, because XJet's from New Zealand, and since the FAA is from the US, that obviously makes it too complicated in many ways, correct? Like to get any type of action done, will it just be put under the rug, for example, or will something actually be done and addressed about it? To me, it's more about the action of taking something and then actively trying to hide it. Like in this case too, it just makes it so much worse that these are the people that were responsible for, I guess you can say, suppressing a lot of people from enjoying like a hobby and all that. One thing I'm thinking too, which is a possibility, I don't know 100%, but why they wouldn't want to credit this source is possibly because this person XJet actually talks a lot about things like aviation regulations and how it can be better. So can you imagine crediting him for that and directing people to read more of his stuff that will go against, I guess, what they are presenting? That happens in general, just from anything commercial, so to speak. Like, for example, I could imagine things like this drone stuff where the law doesn't make sense and people are selling $1,000 courses or whatever. Imagine them revealing sources that actually bring this to light to people, where they'll say, hey, this doesn't make sense, let me research it more. That's not in their best interest, so they will hide it. To me, that's why you need to be vigilant too, because many times, like things, for example, I know like drone policing, a lot of times it actually is, like say a commercial person that wants to push their own business, so they'll go out harassing so many people, but when it comes to an issue which actually deals with safety, they'll keep quiet about it. Will be interesting to see if anything comes out of this. Alright, see you guys later.